afternoon, everyone. So our first guest of honor is a visual artist and a designer who works with various media, integrating painting, drawing, illustration, photography, and topography. Many of his works depict subjects drawn from nature and daily urban landscapes, experimenting with the dualities and tensions between identities, societies, and idealism. Jowenne, also known as JoJo, served as the president and chair of the John B. Clare Gallery, one of the last public galleries open for free to the public in downtown Toronto. For close to a decade continuing gallery, over 40 years legacy as a public gallery, and ensuring its programming, artist community, and compelling storytelling through visual arts continue to strive. Since its inception, in his art, he strives in his diversity of thoughts, inspired by the many things he sees, feels, and experiences every day. He is also a registered graphic designer of Ontario and a certification portfolio elevator for the association. Jowenne owns Avocado Design plus Communication, and for over 20 years have been delivering creative design solutions across public, private, and non-for-profit sector, specializing in brand development, editorial design, and graphic illustration. And this graphic illustration, in spare time, he abandons the digital world and garden cooks and runs a lot. So he's into marathon, guys. He had already got a lot of medals with running. So please welcome Jowenne Herrera.
First and foremost, I just want to say I'm sorry that I'm late. I've been here in Canada for 35 years now. Actually, that anniversary was last week. In fact, June 12th, during Philippine Independence Day. And despite being here in Canada for all those years, I can't get rid of my Filipino time. So I'm so sorry. That's number one. Number two, I think it's interesting. When I saw Abo today, it's like a circle of life because, you know, driving here, I remembered vividly the location. Because in fact, 30 years ago, I also exhibited here. When I recall about that, I think it was a partnership with PAG as well, or another festival that we had. And I just want to say thank you, and it was great to see the executive director and speak to her. Very briefly to say that I do recall this space, and the space is still fabulous, so congratulations for doing that. Number three, I just want to say thank you to PAG. It's great to see the association operating alive and still strong and still fierce. It's great to see that community here in Toronto. June is such a celebratory time of the year. Just think about it. So many things to be grateful for this month. The longest day of the year just happened a few days ago. It's Philippine Heritage Month. And I recall going to the flag raising ceremony in Queen's Park with my mom as well. And them dancing, in fact, as well, technically, or something like that. And also with respect to other celebrations that are also important, not just in our Filipino community, but as you may know, it's National Indigenous Day a few days ago. It's also Pride Month, right? And it's about celebrating the LGBT community and and the power and the beauty that they bring as well. So congratulations to everybody. Thank you, June. Thank you, Amel. June and Amel have also equally exhibited at our gallery, John D. Air Gallery. So thank you very much for showcasing your artistry, your beauty, and your voice to the broader community, not just the Filipino community. Thank you.
Is an award-winning author, playwright, filmmaker, and photographer. His books include the 7-volume of Dan Sharp Mysteries and the Bradford Fairfax Comics Mysteries, the poetry collection in the Museum of Leonardo da Vinci, and the acclaimed war novel, The Honey Locust. He directed Agatha Christie's stage classic, The Mousetrap, for 3 of its 27 record-breaking years at the Toronto Theatre. His 22nd music video, Gone Again, won the Louis Buñuel Memorial Award. His latest book, The Surfer's Spring Cure, a historic whodunit from Cormoran's books, was called an extremely satisfying reading experience by the Toronto Star. His photography exhibition, Voliere, features 62 photographs at the Sacred Handshake Gallery in Toronto this past spring. Please welcome Jeffrey Brown.
When I was a boy, the only people who got invited to, well, we're not cutting ribbons, as you notice, we're tying ribbons because we're making ties rather than cutting, but when I was a kid, the only people who got invited to open an exhibition or a hospital or an art gallery were kings and queens. So I'm not royalty, and I'm not even an actual member of the TAG. I am extremely honored to be here. And I thought, what was it I wanted to say that would mark this tradition? So just indulge me for a bit. I looked up a few artists of note on the internet to see what they had to say about creating art. So in the 1880s, I believe, was a man named Vincent van Gogh. You've probably heard of him. And he said, if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. I think most artists can agree with that. Almost 100 years later, another man, an American named Andy Warhol, said, everything has its beauty, but not everyone sees it. And I'm very much in agreement with that. I take a lot of abstract photographs and people go, what is that? And I said, well, it's something that appeals to me. It may not appeal to you. 450 years before these guys, well, before Andy, but 350 years before Vincent, a man named Leonardo da Vinci said, painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt. And poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. Now I'm just going to add one more thing that he said. He liked to say a lot of things. I think he was giving art lessons for artists down the years. He said, a painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black. That startled me when he said that, but what he said made a lot of sense. Because all things in nature are dark except where they are exposed by the light. So artists take note of that. But what struck me as I was reading these and some of the other things that artists had said, none of them talked about fame and none of them talked about money. And I think when we create our art, whether it's photography or art or dance or singing, whatever it is, if we're looking to make a lot of money, we'll be a little bit successful occasionally, but we might fail a lot. And if we're looking to impress other people, we'll succeed occasionally, but we will probably more often fail. But what struck me was that when we create to add beauty to the world and to give meaning to the world, we will always succeed. And that, I think, is the spirit of what this gathering is all about. And that is what I see all around us. And I hope you all agree as I tie my string and add it to the installation. Thank you.
Art Gallery for over a decade, well over a decade. They've been graciously hosting us over here, providing us with a wonderful space where we all gather each year to get together and enjoy each other's company and admire art. I'd like to invite Petra to say a few words, please.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. And what would we be without artists? And I have to tell you, it's such an honor to be here to finally meet the Philippine Art Group and all its members. I've been privileged to be able to work with your group for many years now. And a little bit about the office. Every week we talk about the upcoming exhibition. And every time you are slated to be in here, we get really excited. Because, first of all, the artwork is really quite exemplary. The quality and the variety that we get every year is just really fantastic. And the people that we get to work with from your group are wonderful. A couple of stories, something about last year and then something about this year. Last year, for those of you who were here, show of hands, who was here for the exhibition last year? You had a lot of little things. Beautiful little things, but they were tiny things, and there were about 10 million butterflies in here. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? Well, I helped with the installation of the butterflies, and I was crowned the Queen of the Butterflies. It's a title that I cherish and I will never forget, because you crowned me your Queen of the Butterflies. This year, your exhibition is really different. A lot of larger works, not as many works. The quality is just as great as last year, but it's just a really different type of show. And congratulations to all of the artists and all of the family of the artists that are here. It's just really great to have you here every year, and we hope we can continue this relationship. So thanks again for being here, and I hope to see you next year, if not sooner.
Thank you very much, Petra. Looking at this installation, it's really interesting to see how there are different logs tied together